Alright, hello my fellow adventurers and welcome back to the Abyss. I'm the Rogue, and today we're going to be just showcasing Pixel Survivors roguelike. It's similar to Vampire Survivors. There are some obvious inspirations from it, but it is its own game. I've got everything maxed out here because it's not the main thing that matters is this. My magnet can open chests within range. Got all the unlocks so far. I'm gonna go standard, and then here are character select. Let's see. I'm thinking of going with the infantry. Now let's turn the pet on. It's just helpful because it'll help me collect my, I'm gonna leave all these normal. Difficulty, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna turn up to normal. What dungeon what level do I do? I'm just gonna go with the basic dungeon. So, yeah, this is a cool game that I'm showcasing. It's not super expensive, you should check it out. There's, I think, a demo on itch.io, I don't know if there's a demo on Steam. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty, well, it is similar in some ways to Vampire Survivors. It seems to be taking forever to load, but it definitely has its, oh, here we go. Let's turn the sound down a little. Okay, just checking some things. Q, open upgrade table, auto attack, damage number, blood effect, okay. So this is the character. I have this laser gun. The thing with that robot, what it's gonna do is it's gonna pick up XP for me. Alright, so let's start with Fireball. Let's re-roll. Take Electric Ball to have a second ball skill. That sounds wrong. Okay, never mind. Let's... a second skill that is circular. Star Rain. Okay. Let's re-roll. And take a Shuriken. Let's take more re-rolls. Okay, so... I'm actually gonna increase the game speed to ×2. Actually, it's a bit fast for now. Let's just do 1. You know what? Let's actually just do 1. Alright, so for the moment, we have to manually collect from the robot. But that will not always be the case. Let's take Thunderstorm. So you see I'm kind of just going for, honestly, a semi-random build of items, of skills. Now, I think I mentioned Vampire Survivors here, and while I don't think I've done a video on it, it's a good game, it's a nice auto-battler roguelite. Highly recommend people check it out. I'd also highly recommend people check this game out because it is reasonably unique. Even though it seems to be inspired by Vampire Survivors, it has its own gimmicks. The skills are definitely also different. And it's pretty fun to play. Like, the characters are really cool. I didn't mean to open that. So, some things I really do like about this game. Recently there's been some good graphics updates that are amazing. I think the skills are also really, really cool. Like, there's definitely, it definitely doesn't just feel like, oh, it's copying Vampire Survivors. The arrow skill is unique. Let's see. And now I'm trying to think, does Vampire Survivors even have most of these things? The orbital one, it does. That's the, Bible one or whatever in Vampire Survivors. Oh, sorry. But then... the arrows, it certainly doesn't. Shuriken, it kind of does, but Shuriken has its own. Fireball is one of the most similar ones, actually, but it's still unique in the, like, the upgrade paths are different, are unique with it. Let's take damage up. The characters are also extremely interesting, like this soldier, this infantry or whatever, who gains more, who like literally gains more, like gains a copy of itself whenever every 15 levels. That is a very cool mechanic in my opinion. So let's turn up the speed a little bit. Okay, we have our first like champion enemy. Let's take Fireball. So yeah, the characters are good, the bosses are interesting. It's made in Unity, which is cool. It does have some lag sometimes, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. I work with Unity, I'm making a game, you should check it out. I'm gonna put it in the description, link in the description, as well as link to this game. Check out, and lag is something I've encountered as well. Unity's good, it's not perfect though. Alright, now, I don't think there's anything I'd say is specifically bad about this game, but I do have a few things that I think could make it better, which is, there's one thing that Vampire Survivors does really well, which is that in this we have our 6 skills. In Vampire Survivors, rather than having your character's base weapon be separate, the weapon is your character starts with a skill, with like, or it's called a weapon. They're called weapons. Your character starts with one instead. And I think it's cool that this game doesn't do it. However, that the resulting effects of what Vampire Survivors does are some things that I think would be cool in this game, which is, in Vampire Survivors, I know I'm comparing this to Vampire Survivors a lot, but I'm not sure what else to, like, but in Vampire Survivors there is a separate bar below the skill, like the weapons, where there's like passive items. And as you see here, there's like I can just take different upgrades. In Vampire Survivors, you're limited by the amount, like, you can only have 6, like an item will upgrade a stab, you can only have 6 different items. So, let's say you can only upgrade, like, for example, health regen, max health, XP gain, damage, and cooldown or something. But the thing is that with you can upgrade individual skills or weapons in Vampire Survivors, but then the other items, if they upgrade a stat, they upgrade it for all skills it applies to. Like, if you upgrade the cooldown on a skill, that will make all skills that have a cooldown, it will make them cooldown faster. And that's a major thing I think would be good. And then there's some like higher special ones, such as like everything that gets +1 projectile. Alright, Hellfire armor burns nearby enemies. Nice. Alright, let's speed the game up a little more. And that's one of the main, there's 2 main, that's one of the 2 main things that I think, which is the way that there's the item system, because I think being able to add, like, I don't know, more, I'm trying to figure out how to say this, like, the fact that you could only get 10 upgrades on a given skill unless you're in one skill mode. Since so many skills have been added to one skill mode, I think it would actually be plausible at this point to have, maybe it'd be unlocked by one skill mode, like winning with a certain skill, like beating one skill mode using X skill would unlock a specific item, or something where it would be like, all your skills get X buff. And then another thing though is the skill slash weapon in Vampire Survivors upgrade mechanic. Vampire Survivors evolutions, which is if you have a certain combination of weapons, usually it's one weapon, and items, usually it's one weapon plus one item. There's a few exceptions to that. But you can then evolve the weapon, which it's like one extra level up that's only available via chests. And this game does kind of have that, but the main thing is it's so unreliable. In Vampire Survivors, if there's an evolution available, normally chests just give you upgrades to your weapons and like items. If there's an evolution available, you're guaranteed to get one of them. The way it works with this game, on the other hand, is that most skills, not all of them have it yet. I don't think at least. That's another thing Vampire. I'll get into in a moment. I am excited to see what new pets are added though to this. Which in this game though, the way it works is that we have, like, let's say the electric boss orbitals things, whatever, that are orbiting me right now, the purpley blue things. So there is an item that upgrades them and makes them shoot projectiles. However, the only way to get it is to find it in a chest dropped by a boss. Which means that, and there's what's dropped in those chests is like pretty much completely random. Like, there's these items and they have quality. Like the high quality ones are gonna be dropped in the boss chests, and the non-high quality ones are gonna be dropped in other chests pretty much. So like the special armors and stuff, and then the item upgrades are what are gonna appear in the like boss chests. But I'm still not guaranteed to get them, and some of them stack, so I'm not even guaranteed to get them for. Like, there have been runs where I'll get none, I think. Sometimes I'll get, like, maybe one. But it really varies. And I honestly... It feels like I don't have enough control over that, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I think it would be cool if boss chests... I don't know how it would be done, but, like... The fact that just like those upgrade items are so inconsistent, like even if you're not gonna get stacks of them, like maybe something like when once a skill is upgraded to level 10, if there's an available this is just a concept for a solution, but like maybe it'd be like once you upgrade a skill to level 10, if that skill has an upgrade item, it will appear in the next chest. Or something. So you're guaranteed to get at least one of that item. Here we go. Here's one. Fire element. Fireballs are now bigger and goes to monsters. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's not... Then this is these arrows, as you see. That's amazingly chaotic, and I love it. Will return to me once they reach their destination. Honestly, it looks really weird, and I actually really like it. Because it's just so absurd and funny. So like, that's the thing. These light arrows, that's a hilarious upgrade. I love it, but there's no guarantee I'm gonna get it in a run. And I would love to feel that I had a bit more control over that. And again, none of these make the game worse. Here, let's bring it up to 1.75 speed. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the last thing is, this is just one really simple, this is something that isn't necessary, I just really would love to have it. Vampire Survivors has pretty much like a thing where you can view all the different, like, it's the weapons and items and pickups and stuff, and see what they do when you're like not in a run, and like you can only view ones you've collected. And I would really love to see that here, of like once you've gotten a skill for the first time you can view it, and then maybe I actually got Fireball to a point where the ring bit has only just finished when the new one starts, which I think is kind of cool. Let's see. Let's take that. Thornmail, reflect damage, nice. So yeah, but then the skills, on the other hand, are pretty unique. The Fireball one even the upgrade seems pretty directly influenced by Vampire Survivors, but the arrows are completely new. They're amazing, but they seem original to me. I've got 100% unlocks in Vampire Survivors, and I do not recognize these arrows from it. The lightning it's not new, but also it's not like it's not like it's possible that that would have just been thought of on its own. Like, it's not something it's just lightning strikes enemies, and that's not a very, like, even for Vampire Survivors, like, whoa, what an original concept. It's just but things that are more new, the Star Rain, I don't think Vampire Survivors is anything like it. Like, it has a thing, Holy Water, where, like, it drops these, like, which this game, I forget what it is, I think it's Molotov Cocktail in this game. And, like, it makes sense that there's this game, though, I think it has more skills than Vampire Survivors. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take Fireball up. Now, as a game developer, one thing that I'm noticing more now that I'm commenting on the game is I am looking at a bit more of the, also a recent change that was in, like, well, not recent, but in, like, one of the more recent updates was the fact that picking up an item no longer, like, gives you this whole game pause, like, thing when you pick up a new item. It's just a level up, okay. So, let's bring it up to 2 times speed now. Also in Vampire Survivors, things like that, where it's like +3 electric ball orbitals and they now last forever. Lasting forever is the evolution to the equivalent to this in Vampire Survivors. And I kind of like how it's just the final upgrade tier in this. So yeah, it's something different that is cool. So let's see. From a game developer perspective, I'm just thinking about how using Unity, I'm trying to figure out how some of these things were done. I bet that the way the fireballs work is it just spawns like a game object that follows the player around that shoots the fireballs, which I think is a pretty good way to do it. That's how I did the bullet health attack pattern for my second boss, Snowflake. Let's see. Okay, Fireball is now maxed out. I still have quite a few skills left to upgrade, though. Star Rain hits a bigger area. I'm not sure what exactly, like, I'm not sure, like, I don't think that this game should, like, the way, like, upgrading weapons and, like, getting the, like, weapon upgrade items, or the skills, sorry, should be the same mechanic as Vampire Survivors. I just feel like the fact that you have, like, no control over it, other than, of course, picking the skills, just feels kind of weird. Okay, that looks amazing. Alright, I actually love that. That I've just kind of got that, like, twin, like, beams of arrows, almost. Yeah. And now I'm trying to think about what, things in this game, like, what are they in Vampire Survivor? Like, what are they based on, if anything? Fireball is based on the Fire Wand, the electric orbs are based on, like, this one called the King Bible. The arrows are unique, so that's there's another unique one in actually after this I might do a few like quick play, like I'd love to just go through like a list, but as I said, there isn't a way to see that right at the moment. But yeah, so then things that are directly influenced by Vampire Survivors, the Molotov cocktail, I think is just basically the equivalent of Vampire Survivors holy water. One thing I just want to say is that I've noticed the bosses don't spawn exactly on the time mark, like time points I expected. That I'm not sure if that's on purpose. I just noticed that. Let's see. Star, I knew plus 15 stars. Okay, the only skill that isn't level 10 at this point is lightning. Alright. Also, once you max out all the skills in this game, I guess in Vampire Survivors 2, it also kind of gets a bit more boring. One thing that, again, Vampire Survivors has is this thing you can unlock. This is a bit of a spoiler, but unlock called Limit Break, which lets you kind of upgrade your weapons above their normal maximum capacity. That is another thing that I definitely think. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Electric balls now shoot lightning, and then this one, thunder. When it hits the target, it'll create a small explosion. I mean, so you can start to see, I think I have almost all the bonuses. Is there any I'm missing? I've got the one, oh, I don't have the one for the star rain. That's what it is. But I kind of, at this point, have less to do, I guess, now that I've maxed out all my skills. Other than just kind of try and just upgrade my basic stuff. Yeah. I'm just thinking about, the chests not taking up, like, the one thing I do find annoying of Vampire Survivors is the chests do take, like, forever to open. You can sometimes skip the animation, but you can't always, and it does get pretty annoying. So I am glad that there's actually an upgrade in this game that makes chests open faster, and I'm glad that even without it, chests don't, like, take up the, like, they don't pause the game to open and all that. And that the new item pickup effect doesn't require that either. And, like, if you want to know what an item does, you can just kind of hover over it. But as you see, it's like, here's the thing I said about the, my lightning balls, having the attack thing, lightning things, yeah. So, yeah. Thing. I definitely think this game has potential as like it's definitely got like one thing Vampire Survivors has. I know I keep saying one thing Vampire Survivors has, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Is that there is a story. I would love to see a story. That would be really awesome if this game was given like, oh, here's what, like, here's like the story behind all this, like the game. Even if it was just like a little story, that'd be really fun. Just kind of gives like a reason. It's a bit hard to tell where I am. I have so many copies of myself at this point. Also, I've been taking reflecting damage items. Does that mean I don't take the damage? Huh. Alright, here's the final boss. Vengeful. See how fast I can defeat it. So let's slow it back down again. Just for this final fight. I do like how you can adjust the speed in the middle of a run as well. That makes it that's another thing that I just really like. Also the lightning as just like an attack like this. Satisfying. Hold on, is it pulsing in size? That's a new one. The numbers are just so big, it's like, they just form like a, I was like, wait, why does he have a red block on his chest? But no, it's just the damage I'm dealing. And there we go. Continue, no reward. I'm gonna exit. Alright. So I'm just gonna set it to quick play. Just gonna do the warrior. This is just to, I'm just gonna do this to show some of the other skills, if I can. Just for like a few minutes. But yeah, that's the game. Definitely check it out. But I'm trying to think about the skills in advance. There's a sword one, like some of the more like some of the simpler ones are more directly here. Bomb. So here's one. Holy Circle. This is definitely in Vampire Survivors. It's as like Judgment. This is a nice unique one. Skipping that because I've already shown those. Skeleton Army. Judgment. So now we have +1 projectile. Soul Swords is another one you see if you look carefully. I have a sword that orbits me, and then kind of you see them flying around. The Skeleton Army. These are all some pretty cow. The funniest thing about that cow, in my opinion, actually, you're not gonna believe this. That skill is based on Vampire Survivors. You cannot believe me, but it is. It's called, in Vampire Survivors, it's called Rune, well, not based on, but there's a skill just like that in Vampire Survivors. It's called Rune Tracer. But I love the fact that it's not that, like, one of the funny, absurd skills is actually the number of cows. Yes. I want more cows. So those are some of the skills. I'm actually just gonna see if it'll let me quickly restart. It might not. But then, some of those, the skeleton one so yeah, I restarted just to see if I can show off a few more skills. Not new. Here, Blizzard Blade. Which, like that. Meteorite. I guess Meteorite and... Here's the Molotov. Here, that's the Meteorite, and then there's the so the Molotov is... Fire Nova is another new one, is another unique one. Let's see, what else can I find? Oh yeah, Ice Age. So here, these ones are honestly... Oh, I should have skipped that. Shuriken, I think I had that one already, but who cares? Alright, so now these are some more really interesting skills. We have these, like, absurd... We have meteors raining from the sky. We have this ice sword. We have that ice pillar. The Molotov cocktail is definitely a direct, like, even little fires are, like, very similar to Vampire Survivors, but, like, a slowing rate, like, that ice was a slowing radius, definitely an original thing. The fireball, I don't think there's anything in Vampire Survivors that's like it. I'm gonna restart one more time, just see if I can get, like, one last set of things. But Yeah, I'd say maybe it's like a 50-50 split, honestly, like of original / in Vampire Survivors. Here's another one that's just, we have that side slash in the direction you're facing. Then some things in Vampire Survivors aren't in this, actually. Oh, here we have our fire shield. I think there's another unique one. Bubble. Black hole. Oh, yes, yes. Electric sword. Let's look at our bubble. Okay, so we have our electric sword, we have our black hole. We have a tornado. I am spawning a literal tornado. Like, this is amazing. Okay, +1 slash, Sui slash to both sides now. Like, there is some really crazy stuff in this. And it's definitely, like, it definitely is worth it to have both this. If you, the price is not, it's not that expensive. If you're gonna get Vampire Survivors, just get this as well. It's different enough. Like, even if you really prefer Vampire Survivors, I would say get this just because it pretty much just lets you have more skill and character variety. Like, it plays so similarly. I do think the boss, there could be some improvements, but it's not as far along in development. Vampire Survivors is further in development. Actually, 1.0 is almost out. But yeah, I would say get this as well. It's definitely a good, like, hey, this is a variation on Vampire Survivors, so worth it. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!